닭을장에 볶아서
Often think about the places where I'd be. Don't say the things you said to me. Your words and knives that broke my heart in half. Often think about the times you made me sad, telling me that I'm the best you ever had. It's fun and games until you make me laugh. Say that you're sorry, but though you're the same, you know it. Crushing my dreams like it's all this game. You see it, lying and telling you that I'm okay. I know it, I know it. All the things I did just always deny.
点这样，这样是 Nicholas 介绍来的。
Playing the cool when you're being all sly. You mean it, always a pessimist wrecking my vibe. I know that every step I take is a step away. Like don't hold me like a set to serve. Fighting chance, I'm gonna make this work. With or without you. Dare to stick around while you watch me. Without a sound, I'm gonna make this work. With or without you.
And the hierarchy and everything. Obviously, I know. Duh.
Duh.
Like, duh.
와 진짜 예쁘다.
Behind there, there's one chassis. It's blossom. Cherry blossom. So that's the purpose of New Year anyway. grape lemon tea. Does it come with any toppings? Better check all this.
You know this one? 옹림 추 탄비.
晚上几点啊？
8点开始，
哦，8点开始。
8点跟7点就有了。
哦，然后这边全部，这些话全部都是本地话讲话的，是不是？哇，你在比那个有没有东西做？
The famous one, right?
The left hand, right hand.
Đây, ăn tàu xương được không? No ice cream. Hello, 小姐几个？一个，第一。我叫ăn tàu trên tôi ăn tàu xương.
Dạ bố. Cái nào là mấy cái
Làm chỗ à? Ồ.
Let's go then. I think it's just okay only lah. It's a real ritual. Dua. Biryani. Terima kasih.
Kasih.
You got more things.
What is that? Tomato.
Longan ginkgo. 예, 고맙습니다.
Often think about the places where I'd be if you didn't say the things you said to me. Your words and knives that broke my heart in half. Often think about the times you made me sad, telling me that I'm the best you ever had. It's fun and games until you make me laugh. Say that you're sorry, but boy, you're the same. You know it. Crushing my dreams like it's all just a game. You see it. Lying and telling you that I'm okay. I know it. I know it. All the things that you just always deny. I see it. Playing the cool when you're being all sly. You mean it. Always a pessimist, wrecking my vibe. I know that every step I take is a step away. Like don't hold me like a sad dessert. Fighting chance I'm gonna make this work. With or without you. Don't you dare to stick around while you watch me. Without a sound, I'm gonna make this work. With or without you. With or without you, I'm so cool, even without you. With or without you, I'm so awesome, even without you. With or without you, I'm so cool, even without you. With or without you, I'm so awesome, even without you.
沙士个辣切。菜你只有一个菜一个豆腐，你还要叫多一个比较清淡一点的嘛。Someone I take the wrong turn, then I was like, "哎呦，die 了，late already." 甜甜蜜蜜，
一帆风顺，
风顺，
三龙成飞，
乱来，
三阳OK，
山羊开泰，四季丰收，
活泼灵活，漂亮的大顺，
喜上加
八方来财，九九同心，十全十美。
快来！You need to drop the luggage first. Just keep the luggage, not store the luggage just now. There. 睇好冇啊？
哦，thank you，thank you，OK，俾我啖啲啦，一定唔好咗，好在你走得快。
So you have a more mashes. You need to eat with.
Huh?
Lên như thế